Hey, ladies, welcome to episode 63. Yes, we are finally in the full swing of fall, and we're talking about Thanksgiving. Oh, yes, I'm so ready for it. As I'm sitting recording and it's actually finally cold in Arizona, I feel like I can embrace this time of year. Before we dive in, I just want to thank you if you have taken the time on Apple to leave a star review and a little note. I read every single one of those. If you have a moment, if you're listening on Apple, would you just scroll down, hit that star review, leave a note, let me know what you think of the podcast. I want to keep putting out content that you want to listen to. All right, are you ready? Let's just dive right into my number one tip for the best Thanksgiving ever.
Welcome to the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast with certified life coach, mom of four, and just all-around lover of all things 80s, your host, Jennifer D'Amato. Buckle in. Let's get started.
So I'm all about traditions. I think it's something you inherit, and I definitely inherited that from my own mom. I like keeping traditions alive. Well, to keep a tradition on the podcast, the week of Thanksgiving, I love our topic to be related to this time of the year. So last year, it was all about gratitude. You can go listen to episode 9. Yeah, that was episode 9, and here we are on episode 63. Talk about major gratitude. I am just living in gratitude each and every week showing up here. But that's a great episode if you want to just heap on the Thanksgiving feels right now. This year, though, I'm taking a completely different angle. Don't you feel like I should be buckle up? Oh my gosh, here we go. All right, let's be honest. Let's always be honest. Thanksgiving can be one of the most stressful times for us. Sometimes it's just because we spend the day with people that freaking drive us bonkers. I mean, we love them, right? They're usually family, but we kind of feel like we might lose our crap even before we get to the dinner table. But I'm not talking about the people. Maybe that'll be next year's Thanksgiving week episode. I'm talking about where I believe most of the stress comes from, which is being around such great quantities of food. Food that we don't have on a regular basis. Food that can even transport us back to our childhood, which can be good and or bad, right? It can be both. It couldn't be good and bad. It could be good or bad. Regardless, though, usually it takes us back. Starting the day before with all the prep, if you do anything, to contribute to Thanksgiving dinner, maybe it's baking pies. That stress can set in. Things like, am I going to eat too much? The thought, I won't be able to control myself tomorrow. Oh, I mean, okay, maybe we'll talk about people a little bit. You might have that thought of, that dinner conversation is going to make me want to drink heavily. Maybe the thought is, I won't eat much today while I'm prepping, while I'm doing this work, because I'm going to pig out tomorrow. First of all, the good news is these are just thoughts. Why is that good? Well, we can work on our thoughts. Thoughts are just simply sentences in our head, and we have the choice in our thoughts. But Jen, I'm already feeling anxious or overwhelmed or even guilty. Yeah, that would make sense. Our thoughts cause our feelings. Those feelings cause our action, which leads to the end result. So follow me here. If you think the thought, I'm going to eat too much, you might feel guilty. That feeling of guilt may lead you to not eat or withhold from enjoying foods that you want, which results in an all-out binge on leftovers before bed. Ahem. This is not a made-up scenario. I've heard it from clients, and I have a similar version that I experienced year after year. So here is my number one tip for the best Thanksgiving. Become aware of your thoughts. You might actually even need to write them down so you can really see them. Yeah, I like to actually see my thoughts, put them on paper, read them back to myself. Which thoughts are helping you? Which ones are the ones that, they move you forward? And which ones are not? Which ones make you feel stuck, overwhelmed, bad about yourself, negative? Then I want you to check in on the emotions that are attached to those thoughts. Do you want to be feeling that emotion? Now, since thoughts are a choice, wait for it, you can choose to change them. I feel like I need to say that again. Since thoughts are a choice, you can choose to change them. What do you want to be thinking? Maybe it's that you want to think, I can enjoy all the foods on the Thanksgiving table at dinner. Maybe the thought you want to be thinking is, I will savor every bite of food this Thanksgiving. Gosh, even saying those two thoughts, I feel different in my body. I know you can't see me, but I'm smiling more. I actually feel lighter. It's such a contrast from saying these thoughts of, I'm going to eat too much. I have no control. I'm not going to eat today, because I'm going to pig out tomorrow. Like I can feel my shoulders up in my ears saying those sentences. What a contrast. When I say things like, I can enjoy all the foods on the Thanksgiving table at dinner. I will savor, I love that word. I will savor every bite of food this Thanksgiving. I can see myself enjoying all the food. I can even picture myself savoring every bite. I mean, when's the last time you savored? Just take a moment and think, do I even think about savoring my food, or am I just consuming food? I already noticed that feeling of satisfaction that comes over me. And what action do you think I will take if I feel satisfied? I'm going to eat the damn food. I'm going to enjoy every single bite. And you know what the result's going to be? It's going to be a positive experience. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to have a wonderful memory. There's no room for guilt. There's no space for overwhelm. This is the life coaching model I use on myself. This is the work I do with my clients. I freaking love this. You can do this with any thought. I mean, anytime, anywhere. It doesn't have to just be for Thanksgiving, though this is getting you to the best Thanksgiving ever. How empowering is it to know that your thoughts are a choice? And because your thoughts are a choice and your thoughts cause your feelings, that means you have total control of how you feel. Oh, I feel like fireworks are going off. There's confetti everywhere. I love this. You can't control what others think. You can't control how they feel or who they're being when they show up at that table. Now, that's a circumstance for you. It's fact, or you could just see that as neutral. You can look at your thoughts about it, though. You can look at your thoughts about that person. You can look at your thoughts about how they're showing up, the words they're saying, their behavior, your thoughts about that. You can choose what you want to think about that off-the-wall thing your distant relative said. You know, the thing that made you either, spit your drink out or choke on your food because you can't believe they just said that thing. You can choose what you want to think about the food on your plate. You can choose what you want to think about the delicious desserts being served. Every thought is a choice. Even in the moment, you can do this exercise. I'm not saying stop eating, go grab the paper or write on your mom's beautiful cloth napkin what your thoughts are and the feelings attached to it. I'm saying you can do this work before. How great is it that this episode releases on a Tuesday? You've got a couple of days to look at your thoughts, look at the emotions attached to them. And then you get to make that empowered choice of what you want to think, what you want to believe to be true. And then you get to choose how you show up on Thursday. And like I said, you can do this with any thought, anytime, anywhere. Maybe Thanksgiving isn't your biggest stress right now. Maybe it's something going on in the world. Maybe it's something going on in your world, in your relationship, in your business, in your work. And you need to look at the thoughts. You can do this same exercise. Looking at the thoughts, looking at the emotion. You could even see how this all connects to where you are right now. And when I circle all the way back and I go, then what do I want to believe? Because the result I'm getting right now is not what I want. I don't want to be feeling guilty. I don't want to be feeling angry. I don't want to be taking this out on my kids. So what do I need to think so that that feeling is what I want to be experiencing instead, leading me to the result that I desire? This work is powerful. This work is what lights me up every single day. This is the work that actually changed my life. And this is the work changing the lives of every single client that I work with. I freaking love it. I don't know how else to say it. Like confetti, guys, confetti all over the place. This might be one you want to re-listen to and walk through the exercise. I would even love to know what comes up for you. If you walk yourself through this and you end up having the best freaking Thanksgiving because you did the work on your own thoughts, give a shout out right there on Instagram. Tag Health, Life, and More for Women on Instagram. I want to throw the freaking confetti. And that's what I'm going to do. If you tag the podcast on Instagram that you had the best Thanksgiving ever because you did the work on your thoughts, I'm using the confetti in the post when I share it. Yes, this should be celebrated. What's so wonderful is no matter what happens outside of you, you get to show up as your best self. If you're listening to this in real time, happy Thanksgiving. I do hope it's the best one ever. I hope your heart is full of gratitude and thanks for all that you do have and for who you are. I know that when I sit there at the table enjoying and savoring every bite of food, I have gratitude in my heart for this space, for every single listener. All right, until next week, ladies.